tonight. I'm super excited. We hadn't had our show last week, so we're about to get started. Let me get all my settings right and everything. Got to cut those gifts off. We know, guys, everybody knows how those cactuses are, or cacti. There we go. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. This is happy Monday to everybody. Hope everybody's had a great week so far, or a great weekend. It's been awesome. Red, turn, what's going on? It's so good to see everybody. Emoji, I see you up in there, brother. Hey, we're waiting on Angel to get here. I don't know if he's here yet or not. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. We'll get into the show a little bit, describing a little bit more here in just a few minutes. Art, man, I see you, man. Kim. Oh, man, thank you guys so much. Bizzle, what's up, dude? Precious. I guess we're waiting on Angel to get here, guys. Thank you so much for being here. This is we were off last week, so it's nice to be able to do a great show. Emoji's here. Yeah, I'm just super excited. Like I said, hope everybody had a great weekend. I know. Hope everybody had a great Memorial Day. That's why we took off last week. Was we had the holiday, and I hope everybody was being able to spend time with friends and family, and just be able to do all the wonderful fun things it was, with people and stuff. So yeah, it's great. How's everybody's Monday been so far? I know it's been like you said, a crazy weekend for some. Probably just how that is. Miss Liz, what's up? Good, Kim. I'm glad to hear that. I wasn't really on the app too much this weekend. So it was nice to kind of take a break and enjoy real life stuff for sure. Haley, what's up? Again, guys, thank you so much for being here. We're waiting on our second guest. I see Play is already here. I'm excited to talk to her about some wonderful things. Waiting on Angel to get here. There he is. There's the man too. So we got our guest, guys. I see emojis here. You ready, brother? Let's go ahead and get started. Lady Bubble, Topper, what's up? Guys, like I said, anybody new here, please hit the star. Please favorite the gifters as well. Please favorite people in the stream. We got a lot of great people. Let's go.
Thank you, India. Thank you, Terror. Thank you, Disillusionment. Thank you, Frailty. Thank you, Consequence. Thank you, Silence. How about me not blaming you for everything? How about me enjoying the moment for once? How about how good it feels to finally forgive you? How about grieving it all one at a time? Thank you, India.
Yo, Emoji, thank you so much for that intro, man. It looked great. Guys, be sure to hit him with the favorite at the bottom. He has a YouTube channel that he does. There you go, right there for replays. He records a lot of shows on the app. He also does a lot of the intros for shows. So the man certainly puts a lot of time and energy and effort into what he's doing. So guys, thank you so much for being here. This is Gratitude. This is a show that we do every single Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We were off last week, but if you're new to the show, this show's about, finding people who wish to show more thanks during their life. Each week we have guests. We have two guests that recall, circumstances, people, and memories that have humbled them. And, it helps them reflect and grow through the act of gratitude. So again, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time. Also, if you get an opportunity as well, please check out the trending on the main page of the app. There's also a lot of shows on the app. There's dancing shows. There's cooking shows. There's all kinds of wonderful shows. We also have one of our guests has an amazing talent show, and we're going to get into that with him a little bit here shortly. I just wanted to let you know this is the show that we do, and I'm very grateful for that. And we had off last week, and just the thought of Memorial Day and being able to really reflect on that. Just wanted to say that you have the ability, if you use it, to, at least in some little way, bring joy to people and, touch them emotionally. And that's incredibly powerful. And that's another thing is, I don't know why I was given that, but it's something that I don't take for granted, and it's something that I very much value a lot. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. We like to start the show off every single week with a quote, and this week's quote is this: "Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around." Let me say that one more time. Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. So, guys, we're going to get into this week's topic of the random act of kindness. And as before we get into that, we're going to touch on our last week's topic before we had a break, and that's going to be confidence. And so we're going to get into that. I want to welcome my guest to the box at the time, Mr. Angel. He's a great friend of mine. He has a show on the app every single week, guys, and we'll talk to him and get into that.
Just kidding.
What's up, brother?
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, man? Thank you so much for being here, man. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to be a part of what we try to do every single week. And I just wanted to thank you and tell you I appreciate you, and I'm very grateful for you, doing that. So, yeah.
No, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. I know it means a lot to us, as always, to have guests come on, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing out on or being a flake for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's good to find people that you can rely on, people that will be there for you. Absolutely. So, as we're doing the show right now and bringing that to the app, and as far as wonderful content and stuff, you have a show yourself. If you kind of want to talk about that, it's a great show. If you'd like to share that, kind of give a little bit more of a story about you and you as a streamer, or anything you're comfortable with sharing.
Yeah, so my name is Angel. Thank you guys. A little bit of my background. I have been in the music business for God knows how many years now. I think my first performance was when I was maybe 10 years old, and I'm 31 now, so you guys do the math. And just kind of a few of my accomplishments. I've been a part of all kinds of different nationally and internationally recognized award ceremonies, like the Billboard Awards, Latin Billboard Awards, the Grammys, the Latin Grammys, everything, you name it, anything to do with business. With music business. So I started streaming maybe a couple months ago. What was this? Maybe the end of October I started streaming.
Right.
And just recently I was on Chris Casper's Suited Up, maybe about 2 months ago, and he asked if I would be happy to host a show on here, something to do with my background, my musical background, and I said yes. And I've had a blast, Jamison. I've had the opportunity to meet people like you, people who inspire, who influence, and who motivate others. I'm a huge fan of your show. So before you were a fan of mine, I was a fan of yours. And I'm thankful to have had people like, for instance, Ungovernable and Maggie come through my life, and everyone who's consistently part of my stream and part of my shows, and it means a lot. It really does. And Kim.
Yeah, it's important to have that. As you're trying to do something different on the app, you're trying to provide content and something different than every other stream. It's great to have that foundation of people that support you. It's great to have the people to surround you, to encourage you to continue to go in the right direction for what show that you're trying to do, and it's amazing. Guys, if you hadn't had a chance to check out his show, he has a great show. It's called The Spotlight. It's every Tuesday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. He has a lot of just past, present, future artists and showcases on our very own Meet Me community, and so he's doing a lot of amazing things. So if you get to check him out, his show's tomorrow night, 11 o'clock. It's a great thing. to just watch and to be a part of. And I'm glad that you're, providing the best content that you can, man, on the app for sure.
Thank you.
As we kind of get into this week's topic of, confidence, what, especially being in the music business, you see a lot of different personalities. You see a lot of different people from a lot of different walks of life. And I think that you probably have a very, personal and professional opinion about that because, in the music industry is brutal. You have a lot of people that, try to make it. You see a lot of people that have a lot of potential to be very successful in certain things that they're trying to do. But, with a lot of that, not just luck and opportunity, but a lot of that, I think, comes with confidence. Would you agree?
I do, Jamison. Just to kind of piggyback off of what you got, I have one motto, and I'm a teacher too, and I was actually just teaching in class, so I came over to take your interview. But one of the things that I teach my students is to fake it until you make it. If you don't believe it, how do you expect others to believe your work or your worth at this point? So there was a lot, I have friends who outside the app put me on the spot and say, Angel, sing something for us. And it's like, what the heck? What do you want me to sing? And to a certain extreme, I tell them all that being on stage, putting on my uniform, putting on that outfit, that persona gives me the confidence of just be who I want to be. This person that everyone sees on stage. I'm not a confident by nature person. So I have to push myself to the limit, and I have to push myself to be that strong person on stage as well as even on streaming. It's not in our nature to be confident. I think we develop a skill set of being confident. When I was going to college, I had an astronomy teacher who says, if you can't amaze me with your brilliance, baffle me with your BS. So do something to call my attention, and I think that's what I do all the time. I just BS it. I fake it until I make it.
But, really to your point, I mean, it's a great point. When you start putting that uniform on, you start putting on, the performance and the show. I think a lot of times people don't understand or underestimate the level of confidence because I think a lot of times people will find confidence to be very attractive in business, in personal relationships with people, in, just everyday life. I think that when people see that you are a confident person in your dealings every single day, people resonate with that kind of person because they see that, you bring something to the table. They see that you're confident in what you're saying. They can see that you are really truthfully, honest in what you believe. And I think that is really important because, there's a fine line too. I've always said this as well because you had a great saying about the BS. I've always thought that there was a fine line between being confident and cocky and arrogant. And I think that when you can understand the difference, that's where, it can make certainly a difference in your personal and private life.
One of the things too that I talk a lot about is being humble and always know your ground. And being confident doesn't necessarily mean you can be cocky, but really pushing it or meddling with that does come off as being cocky. And nobody likes anyone being cocky, So it's interesting that you bring that point up, and it's very true. And you have to be confident that you are being humble, that you put yourself at others level and understand that everyone brings a certain quality or a passion to the table. So I agree 110%.
Yeah, I think you said it so well, is the passion. I think that when people see that, people resonate with what you're trying to do. They can tell that people love what they're doing, and they see that. And, when you're able to translate that to relationships, to conversations that you have with people both on and off the app, it's certainly a very, very awesome and, like you said, very humbling experience. Guys, if you're new here, this is a show that we do every single Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's called Gratitude. And the show's about finding people who wish to show more thanks during their life. Each week we have guests that recall circumstances, people, and memories that have humbled them. And, just to help them reflect and grow through the act of gratitude. And, we're talking to this awesome gentleman by the name of Angel about confidence and how important that is in your every single day walk in life and, your business decisions and things like that. And like I was saying, man, with you being such a tremendous, the music industry being a tremendous part of your life, I'm sure that you see that. You see artists that are extremely talented. I think that you can see people, I'm sure, that just can blow your mind away with what, God-given ability that they have, or musically and things like that. But, what do you do or what's your, professional opinion or advice that you give to people when you don't see the confidence, when you see that they have the talent, but they may not necessarily have the other stuff that kind of goes hand in hand with it all?
So if you're my student, Jamison, I don't give you an opportunity to tell me no.
Okay.
I force you to expand your bubble and to. One of my favorite quotes to say when I'm teaching is, with me, you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Wow.
I have a music group, a mariachi band that performs, right? And I tell them, this next song, I need you to go up to that person right there, look at them in the eye, hold their hand, and sing your heart out to that person. And typically they're younger crowd, right? And they're looking at me thinking, you've got to be crazy. I'm not. And I said, no. You're not the boss here. I'm telling you what to do. This is what you need to do. And all of a sudden, they're doing it on their own without me telling them. And they love people's reaction, because that's, as a performer, that's really what we have to show. Do you really think that any kind of performer is comfortable with being put on the spot, with being criticized, with being, no, you got to make the best of it. And, people will talk. And that's exactly word for word what I tell them. People are going to talk about you. So you make the decision, whether it's good or bad. And guess what? I'm going to force you to make something good happen.
So well said. Man, I love that, because, you have to start somewhere. You're not born with confidence. You're not born with the charisma. You're not born with,
No.
People, you have to create opportunities. You have to create situations for you to be successful in.
Mm-hmm.
And, confidence can make or break of that, I feel like, especially in business, for me, when people feel like that they can put confidence in you, certainly is a huge, tremendous thing. Because if they don't feel like that they can trust you, if they don't feel like that you're practicing what you're preaching, if they don't feel like that you're very passionate about what you're, trying to give advice to people about, especially from a business mindset, then the whole motive is off. The whole situation will not ever be, what you want it to be, simply for the reason that people can see that you don't have the confidence. People can see that you're not, really giving your all to what you're trying to provide, especially if it's in the service industry.
Even at that point, it's confidence. You talk about business, but it's not necessarily just business, Jamison,
Mm-hmm.
if I can intervene. It's all aspects of life at this point. When you're trying to woo somebody, your partner, you have to have that confidence. You have to build up that initiative, that motive to approach that person. When you're talking about being a server, even at a restaurant, you have to learn your stuff. And if you don't know, I think I tell a lot of my students, it's okay not to know.
Right.
It's okay not to know. I don't, before I became a teacher, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, to be honest. And it wasn't until I got through the experience that now I know, and I can pick up on different patterns from my students and now to our audience.
Yeah. Yeah. So well said, dude. I think a lot of times too, people don't realize that confidence is a huge thing in personal relationships. If you're certainly trying to meet someone, if you're trying to generate a relationship with someone, you have to be confident. You have to know what you're bringing to the table. You have to let people know that you're confident in whatever ability that you can provide, because people see that. It's a difference of being successful or having a struggle in what you're trying to accomplish, because people understand that, people see it, people feel it, and that is certainly, I think, a really key component to having any kind of successful relationship that you have with anybody.
Something I'd like to add, being confident doesn't necessarily mean being weak, and also doesn't necessarily mean vulnerability equals weak. I can remember multiple instances where we've been performing and either the person that's singing or interpreting the song, all of a sudden the lyrics kick into them and they understand what the song is talking about, and all of a sudden they're shedding tears. because they're listening to their own interpretation of the song, and it's showing their vulnerability, and it's showing the passion that they have. And as a spectator, as audience, that doesn't mean that they're weak. It just, there's a word in Spanish, I don't know how to what it translates to, but it shows, it's called conmover, which means it makes us as the audience feel what you're feeling. It makes us understand or get a little bit of a glimpse of what's going on through your heart, through your head. So it doesn't necessarily mean or show weakness. It's important to understand that even in relationships, when you show vulnerability, it doesn't make you weak. Even then, you need confidence to show and to express these feelings, either physically by tearing up, by lighting up, by being happy, or even in relationships by, you know what, doing this makes me feel vulnerable because I feel that you're gonna XYZ. But at that point, it's about, again, being confident in the relationship. So confidence can be, I believe, can be interpreted in different avenues, and specifically with yourself as how you believe others portray you.
Right. You know, I heard a great, you know, comment or saying that someone said is, you teach people how to treat you. And you know what is so important about that is, if you allow people to think that it's okay to talk to you a certain way, or to not have the confidence, or have the lack of confidence, then they learn that and they see that it's okay to be that way. But if you can come to a situation where you have the confidence and you bring a lot to the table and people see that, then they're going to look at you totally different. They're going to come at you in a way that you want them to come at you, because you've taught them how important that is to communicate with you that way. And so, you know, like you said, man, I think certainly confidence is something that I, you know, try to continue to work on every day, whether it be relationships on the app, off the app. And when people are able to see that you're confident, they see that you can resonate with what you're really saying. It just makes life seems like so much more simpler and so much more easier.
You know, Jamison, I want to share with you something. It's kind of funny, and though my immediate friends will laugh when I say this, but even when performing, I forget the lyrics of my own songs, even songs that I've written myself. So it's important that either I have a teleprompter in front of me on stage,
Right.
or that I'm confident enough that I will make others believe that the way that I'm singing or performing is the right way. I went to a concert. I had maybe about a couple thousand people that went to go see me perform. And this was in Mexico. And I remember one of my friends flew out to watch me. And all of a sudden, she comes backstage and she goes, Angel, hey, great show. She goes, you know, one of the things that I call myself is, I can't believe I was singing this song wrong this entire time. I was like, no, dude, for reals, I messed it up. But it was just so much confidence that I was showing, you know, portraying that the audience believed that they were singing it wrong. At that point, you know,
It didn't matter, right?
it doesn't matter.
Everybody was still feeling it and vibing and all that good stuff. And that's the most important thing, is that, like you said, man, music can hit people in a lot of different ways. It can be just something that can just uplift you from whatever mood you're in. It can just build you up in a way that maybe you really had just a crappy day, and you just hear lyrics a certain way, or they're sung a certain way, or something like that, where it just completely resonates with you. It completely changes your whole perspective. It can change your confidence. You know, you can be listening to a song, man, and it's just like, man, I'm ready to go, you know, kind of thing. And you maybe were not feeling that maybe before you heard that song, or before, you know, maybe you heard an album or something like that. So, you know, music has always been certainly a big thing that's been very instilled in my life in a lot of different ways. And I'm very glad and grateful to have the ability to listen to music, appreciate music, understand it, and for it to be able to affect my mood and my feelings and confidence in so many different ways.
I agree. Yeah.
Anything, brother, you want to say in closing? Anything you'd like to share with anybody? Again, if you want to talk about your show one more time, it's a great show. I'd love for people to check it out when they get an opportunity to.
Well, no, other than just thank you, Jamison, for the opportunity to have me on your show. It means a lot, to be honest. Again, I was a fan before you were a fan, and it's awesome to see the people that we look up to, we build connections with. And I think streaming is all about that. And it has to do with confidence. Just if you're not a streamer, go ahead and hit that live button once in a while. And I encourage you to go live, because there are a lot of people that you can create bonds with on the app, like those who are on here. Jamison and I appreciate every time you come in, and every time you say hi, it means a lot. So all that really does build up to the confidence. And if you guys don't have anything to do, or would like to schedule a visit over my stream, feel free to come by. I host a show. I have a lot of fun with the show, to be honest. It's called The Spotlight. It happens every Tuesday evening at 11 Eastern time. Something different. It is not a competition. It is showcasing talent, and it's pretty cool. I like the fact that it's a spin-off of a competition rather than just. It's more of an interview process with these talents, and just seeing why, where, and where they're going. So come by. I'd be happy to have you come by if you sing. Kim is my next. She's on next week. Kim is on next week. So if you know of anybody that performs as a singer, I'd love to have Ms. Zen, that I've seen around here a couple times. If you know anybody that sings, that performs any kind of musical instrument, has any musical talent, let me know. I'd be happy to host you and give you the spotlight.
Well, brother, thank you again so much for taking the time out of your schedule to be here. Guys, please hit this dude with a favorite. Check his show out tomorrow night. Like I said, it's called The Spotlight, every Tuesday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You'll certainly be blown away with the past, present, future talent he's got on, the wonderful, Meet Me community that we have, and so definitely check him out.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jamison. Everybody make sure to hit fave on Jamison.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being here. Wow. Thank you, brother. Thank you for being just so honest about confidence, how important that is to have it in your every single day life. And I appreciate you for taking the time to be here. Guys, again, if you're new here, this is a show that we do every single Monday night. It's called Gratitude. The show's about finding people we wish to show more thanks during their life. Each week, we have guests that recall circumstances and people and memories that have humbled them, and it helps them reflect and grow through that to gratitude. So definitely try to check us out. Also, guys, there's a lot of amazing shows, including mine and Angel's on the app, Monday through Thursday. Please check out the trending page at the top. You'll see all kinds of shows. There's cooking shows, talent shows, dancing shows, interview type shows like this. So definitely, if you get a chance, guys, just pop in for 5 minutes just to see what everybody else is doing, just to show your respect and admiration for what they're trying to do on the app, just to try to do something different. So again, guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. Again, I'm just very grateful for the show. You have the ability, if you use it, like I said, at least in some little way, to bring joy to people and to touch them emotionally. And that's the incredibly powerful thing. And, there's another thing. I don't know why I was given that, but this opportunity to have this show is something that I don't take for granted and something that I value very much. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. We're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to go into this week's topic, which is random acts of kindness. I got an amazing guest as well. We have great people on every single week. I'm going to welcome her to the box right now. This is going to be such a wonderful opportunity to talk to someone. This is random acts of kindness. This is our new week's topic. And I just want to welcome Miss Player to the box at the time.
Jamison.
Oh, what's up? How are you?
Hi. How's it going? Hi, everyone.
Great. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
I'm happy to be here.
I hope your day has been great. Again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule, of course, to be here, be on the show. I love it. So, yeah.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited. I love this topic. I love to have meaningful dialogue on here, so this is good.
I think it's really important. We as streamers or top badges or whatever the case may be, we certainly have an opportunity and a platform to stream and have a lot of people that support us. But, just for 1 hour a week, 1 day a week, it's nice to be vulnerable. It's nice to talk about things that maybe are a little bit more under the surface and kind of digging into that kind of stuff. So Yeah. For anybody that's not familiar with you, for anybody that doesn't know who you are, which is crazy if they don't, please
Possible, very
introduce
possible.
yourself. Yeah, please introduce yourself. I know, guys, she's one of the newest top badges. She actually got her top badge
3 weeks ago, maybe.
5 days before my birthday. So that's what I always try to tell people is, yeah. And it was awesome to be there. And, the floor is yours. I'd love for you to just kind of share your story, your history, your passion with the app. And yeah, floor is yours.
Well, it's a very short story. It's abbreviated. I started end of November, beginning of December in 2020. I actually started streaming because I was studying for a test, and I was studying really late nights, and I just needed some people to keep me up and keep me motivated, and it worked. I did really well with streaming, I should say. So I started taking it really seriously in January, started streaming every day, and here we are.
Right.
But I don't do events or anything. Not really auctions and battles. It's a lot of just conversation and, trickery and foolery.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's certainly important, I feel like, especially to have those relationships with people on the app, off the app, people that you interact with every single day. I think it's great to appreciate and value those relationships. And it's certainly just a wonderful platform and a community to be able to have all those wonderful different things for sure. When you think about random acts of kindness, what are maybe more specifically a certain time in your life that you've experienced that? Maybe you've experienced that with someone else that you'd love to share with us?
Sure. I always think about my days when I was in school, and I mean, from kindergarten to grad school, I always got good grades, but I'm a very anxious school person. Like, grades make me nervous. I have to study with other people, if you can tell.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of, there have been tough times, but really I owe a lot of my success to people who would see me struggling and would lend a hand. And, there's usually nothing I could do to, pay them back. But it's people who see those who need help and they have nothing to gain from it, but they're still willing to put in that effort. And I try to pay that forward. So definitely, I can even just name one time in grad school, one class in specifically biostatistics. Woo! That class was kicking my tootie. A Rudy Tootie, but the class really rallied together. A lot of the people who had taken those courses before rallied with those who hadn't, and we would drill each other. It turned into one of the more fun classes, and it was all kind of put together by a person who's a really close friend of mine in grad school, and that's the kind of random acts of kindness that I love. That just really adds, that the sum is greater than its parts.
Yeah, completely agree. I think that, when you have an opportunity to have a random act of kindness, I think when you have an opportunity to provide something that's certainly not planned for other people, it's amazing. The personal story for me is, just say you're going through the drive-through somewhere. Just say that, you have someone that's behind you and you just decide to just pay for their meal. That's just certainly a very thoughtful thing to do. It's certainly something that has brought a lot of joy to me, because you don't ever know what people are going through. You don't ever know if people are just sitting there, maybe going through McDonald's or whatever the case may be, and they're struggling. They may have a lot on their plate. They may have a lot of, things on their mind, maybe personal stuff with relationships, a husband, a wife, kids, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And, you just get up to the drive-through and you're just like, you know what? I don't know who's behind me. I don't even know what they ordered. I don't know if it was a $200 order or a $10 order. To be able to, you hope it's not $200, but you
right. I'll put half on that.
Yeah. So right. So you have people that you have the opportunity to do that and to help people, and it's a very gratifying thing. You could just pick up from McDonald's or Starbucks or whatever the case may be, and it's like you feel a lot of joy out of that. You feel like that you've been kind to someone, even if it's just a small way. But you may not ever even see that person again.
Yeah.
But for them to know, they get up to the window, but oh, hey, by the way, that guy in the truck or car paid for your meal. That hits people a little bit different. It's like, man, they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to spend their money to do anything like that for me. And so that's certainly an awesome thing, at least in a small way for me, that I've tried to make a habit to do. So, yeah.
That is really kind. I mean, especially I was just thinking, like with the pandemic, everyone has their masks on, or so there's a lot of fear. There's not as much opportunity for stranger kindness because we're all kind of avoiding each other.
Right.
So I think that's a great way of being able to reach out to someone without having to physically reach out to them,
Yeah.
and show that random act of kindness.
Yeah, and I think that hopefully that can be a little bit more, as we have a lot more cities and states and stuff that are opening up things, trying to get back to some level of normalcy, getting back to the hair salons, getting back to restaurants or theme parks, whatever the case may be. For us to get back to being social, to be able to socialize with people on a little bit more personal level. I think that as we've gone through the pandemic, especially, I think it's made people a lot more introverted, and we kind of just sort of get ourselves. We just kind of go to work. We might work at Starbucks for the day, or we may work in a bank, or we may cut hair for a living, and it's kind of made us sort of kind of come into our shell a little bit. So when we get home, we just kind of get in our own little world, and we don't remember how it used to be to interact with people on a personal level. So I think that
Agreed.
you can kind of implement the random acts of kindness, even in a small way, you can kind of get us back to being more sociable people.
Very true.
Yeah.
I think of just having grace with one another. I saw Grace's name and I was like, okay, Miss Grace, that's the word that I was thinking of. Is so yeah, we all understand on a certain level, like that it's been a sucky year. Even if you made your money on crypto or whatever, that some more than others, but our lives all have changed, and so if we can kind of extend a little bit of just grace to one another. I mean, especially if you can do it randomly, just so you can just put out some just random positive energy in the world. I think that could go a long way in helping us to feel. I don't even like to say go back to normal or anything. I just say that to feel better than how we felt
Yeah.
for a long while. So
Yeah, it's completely important. And like you said, to be able to randomly do that, for it to not be something that we planned, for it not to be something that you set out to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it could just completely just happen randomly out of nowhere. Those are when it's really important. I feel like, especially because it's like it just kind of comes from the heart. To your point, the grace and the compassion for other people is certainly, I think, a lost art. This day and age, I think being able to connect with people on a personal level, I think is a lost art, and to be able to randomly do that is very gratifying in a lot of ways. Would you agree?
I definitely agree. And I was going to ask, so when you were in school, like what kind of student were you, and how have you ever experienced like a random act of kindness school edition?
Yeah, I think, when I was in college, I was a decent student. I obviously probably didn't focus as much as I probably should have on the grades, but I did, end up finishing with my master's degree and things like that. Anyway, less personal stuff about me. Yeah, I just, I had a very similar situation like you, where you have people that you study with, and you kind of go into it in a situation where you're just like, oh, well, we're just studying, we're getting through this class, whatever we can do to help one another out is important. And then that turns into something completely different. It's like, man, you're scratching my back. Let me scratch yours. We're killing it in this class. We're doing the best we can to continue to be great versions of ourselves and be successful in life. And, so for me, it's like, you just have somebody help you on a test. It's like maybe I was struggling, in a particular area, and that person helped you. And, it was completely random. I mean, we were sort of studying, and that was the planned thing, but like, they're able to maybe communicate to you in a way that you're just like, man, this is awesome. Like, this is just, this was a study group, but it became a friendship. And that is certainly a great, place to start for sure. So, yeah.
Well, that's that's kind of like the secret energy behind like the random act of kindness. Like you never know how far that energy is going to go. You never know where that paying it forward, like how that can manifest in someone's life on a longer term. Maybe you paying for someone's, meal at a drive-through saves them enough money to be able to give their kid like lunch money for the next day. And like, so you never know how your contribution to someone's life, and whether it's monetary or not, but even just a kind word, like how that can really make someone's day. Yeah.
I
I'm
think
thinking
a
of
lot.
it's Jilly, and she did the emoji choir in my stream, and I was getting trolled really bad, like all stream. It was so annoying. So when they came in and they did the song emoji choir, shout out to them. It brightened my day. I
Yeah,
had no idea. It was so random.
yeah. And I think the complete randomness with things, especially, when you try to be genuine, I think that that's met with genuineness as well, because people can feel that like that you were really just trying to do something really nice and kind for someone, and when you're able to do that and people reciprocate to that, that
Mhm.
it just feels great. It's like I'm doing something very nice for you, and you're on the other end of that receiving that. It's like, man, I didn't have to do that, and you didn't have to receive it that way, but it's like everybody's moving in the same direction.
Yeah.
Everybody's just trying to, like you said, have the grace and the mercy and the just the overall genuine support and respect for other people. I think a lot of that stuff always goes hand in hand for sure.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, generally, people. I mean, I know the running like joke is like people are terrible. There's a lot of terrible people. There are, but I mean, I think generally people just want to be able to take care of themselves and take care of the people that they care about. And it's like most people aren't trying to like ruin your day specifically personally.
Right.
So it's like if you don't take things
Your
personally
name is Sherry,
and you just
Teresa.
try to
Look, I'm
inject
not even
positive
lying.
energy into whatever the circumstance, like you'll see a lot more, kindness and positive energy, going that way and probably coming back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that when you have the right attitude, like you said, the
Thank
positive
you.
energy, the genuineness, the respect, I think that it all works hand in hand when you're able to do that. So yeah. Guys, if you're new here, this is a show that we do every single Monday night. It's called Gratitude, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's a show that finds us, talking to people that want to show more thanks during their life. And, each week we have guests that recall circumstances, memories that have humbled them, that help reflect them and grow through the act of gratitude. And we're certainly talking to such an amazing person, Miss Playa LaPlaya, about random acts of kindness. We've shared some great things and stories, some things in her life, some things in mine. And, like you said, to piggyback on your point, it's great. When I can lay my head down at the end of the night and know that I have done wonderful things for people, it makes me feel proud. It makes me feel like that I've done something. None of us are perfect. We all kind of have things that we struggle with in life every single day. But if you can have the right attitude, if you can have the right motive, if you can have the right just perspective on things, it seems like life can be a whole lot more simpler. It doesn't matter what background you come from, doesn't matter what skin color you're from, or anything like that. If you can respect people and treat people the way you want to be treated, and you're able to include confidence and the random act of kindness and all that, it's a huge circle that always comes back, full at the end, and it's very great.
I agree.
Do you have any other personal story you'd like to share about random act of kindness or anything that you
I would say, to bring it full circle for
there
us,
you go.
and it is more about streaming, but I didn't, I didn't imagine myself, being a top badge when I started streaming, not for months and months and months after I, continued, and even with my growth on the app. Because I saw it as a big responsibility, because you do have more people, you have more eyes on you, but it's also more of an obligation to, engage with people, engage with those who, come in, and to me that felt like pressure. But I will say that my favorite part about being a top badge is being able to, through that engagement, I feel like be able to show a friendly face and like actually have like meaningful conversation with people who come in. And I am not yet too annoyed with, answering the same kind of get to know you questions. And it's been really cool, like actually being able to, I don't know, like I said, just be a friendly face and be someone who can come in and just chill. You don't have to gift me. You don't have to, I'm very, very low maintenance. But I will say I've seen, and people have showed appreciation for that. But even whether they did or not, I would say that that's probably my favorite part about being a top badge is like, okay, I have more of a chance to like have a random act of kindness every day just by not trolling.
Right. Yes, absolutely. I don't think people understand a lot of times, like you said, to your point about being the
Thank
top
you, T
badge,
Dog.
you meet, literally thousands of people every single week.
Yep.
And people can kind of come and go. Some people stick around and continue to support you. Some people don't. Maybe sometimes people are just curious of who you are, don't really know a lot about you. But, to have that opportunity, to have the ability to connect with people on a lot of different levels, you certainly want to carry yourself a certain way. You certainly want to respect people. You want people to respect you. You want to have the trolling as at a minimum as you can, but it kind of comes with the territory. But all that stuff works together to be the best version of yourself, to present yourself to people, to love, care about, appreciate in so many different ways. And I think that you do a very amazing job of that in your own stream. And it's just been an honor and a pleasure to have a conversation with you about things. And I hope that we can continue to have great conversations in the future.
For sure. Everybody, thank you so. Make sure you fave Jamison if you haven't already. Top badge Jamison, thank you for having me on here. Everybody, the only thing I ask is click on my name and add me on IG.
There you go.
Let's be friends.
It's all about networking. It's all about being social. Yeah. I mean, that's why you got a top badge. Let's go.
Let's go.
Well, hey, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate the opportunity for you being here to have a great conversation with me. I've certainly enjoyed it on a lot of different levels. And anything you want to add in closing?
Thank you so much to everybody for the gifts. I saw them. I'm like still learning how to read and acknowledge and talk at the same time. But I saw the gifts. I appreciate them so much. I see the faves. I fave back. And Jamison, thank you again for having me.
All right. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. All right. Have a great night. Take care. Wow, guys, such a humble person, such a great person. Such a great show tonight. We had two amazing guests. Mr. Angel was talking about confidence. Playa was talking about random acts of kindness. And it's so nice, guys, to just be able to share so many different things with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We want to just end the show one more time with a quote. This is the quote for the evening. Guys, thank you again for the gifts. We really appreciate that. The quote for the end of the night is this. Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. Let me read that one more time. Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. So I want to leave you guys with that. Like I said, two amazing guests. Please be sure to hit play with a favorite. Please be sure to hit Mr. Angel with a favorite. Also, be sure, guys, to check his show out tomorrow night again. I want to give him a quick plug. He's got a great show on the app. It's called The Spotlight. Tuesday nights, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. He has just a lot of great artists that showcase the wonderful Meet Me community that we have. And so definitely check him out tomorrow night. As we kind of just wrap up the show and talk about what next week's topic is going to be, it's going to be self-discipline. That's what we're going to go with, how important that is to have some self-discipline for yourself, to have some control in your life, to try to just get things, in check and whatever struggles you have in your life. So that's next week's topic, guys. If you're interested in being on the show, please hit me in the bio. There's my name